a lot of the times when I would meet patients who had, I'm going to use cancer, for instance. Some of the people who I had encountered that had cancer, many of them would have what some people would view as unforgiveness, and
Mm.
this manifests a lot of times with cancer. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who gets cancer, lives with unforgiveness, but I did experience that a couple times. And so, just to give you an example, I had this male patient at one time during my career, and he was very, very sick. And for some reason, when I would go visit him, Spirit would say, ask him about his family. And I just kept refusing to do that. And when I would finally, I gave in. After visiting him a couple times, I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask him about his family because he has cancer. He's getting, not better. He's getting worse. And so one day I asked him, do you have any family? And he said, yes, I have a sister, but I haven't talked to her in 20 years.
Mm. Mhm.
And I said, really? And then he said, yeah, something happened between us. And, I stopped communicating with her and she stopped communicating with me. And I said, well, do you know how to get in touch with her? Because she needs to know that you're, you're sick. He said, I don't know. It's been so much water under the bridge. And so the more I talked to him, I encouraged him to, try to find his sister's number and give her a call, because I think it was very important, for him to be in touch with her. And I felt that there was something that, maybe some forgiveness that needed to take place, or something he needed to say to her, or something she needed to say to him, before he left Earth. And so, he promised me that he would call his sister. So I
Okay.
went ahead, and later on, the next week when I went to visit him, he said he had talked to his sister and they cried together, and he said he felt a whole lot better. Now, I'm not saying that he got healed. He may
Mhm.
have gotten healed even if he passed away, but I just wanted to bring that story up because unforgiveness can bring about a whole lot of diseases. And I'm not sure today, what path we wanted to take with this conversation, but
Whatever path you wanna take us on.
but I do want to mention that because unforgiveness is a spiritual thing. And so if someone is harboring